Hello team and family, this is video number 3 over percent proportion practice. It says what number is 50% of 220? So it says is 50%, so 50% is my percent and it's also on the top because it's my part of 220. So 220 equals my whole thing, and what I'm looking for is what's the part as a number. What number is 50% of 220? So when I set this up, I want to remember that is goes over of, because is the part, of is the whole thing, and then I also want to make sure I put my percent out of 100, because percents are out of 100. So I'm going to set up the first proportion. I have a part is what I'm looking for. I know my whole thing's 220. And then I know that 50% is the part, and percentages are out of 100. So step 1, I'm going to cross multiply. 220 times 50 equals 100 times x. Step 2, multiply the two factors next to each other. So I've got 220 times 50, which is 11,000, which is equal to 100 times x. Step 3, I need to divide both sides by the number in front of x, which is 100. 100 divided by 100 cancels out, and 1,000, or 11,000, excuse me, divided by 100, if you cancel or take away two zeros from the top and the bottom, you have 110 divided by 1. 110 divided by 1 is 110, which is my answer. So x equals 110. So when I go back up to the problem, what number is 50% of 220? 110 is 50% of 220. So I'll box in my answer. My answer is 110. Second one, what number is 35% of 80? So I'm trying to figure out what number is 35%. That's my part. It's also a percent, so I know it's going to go over 100. Of 80. Of 80, of means it's the whole thing, so 80 is the whole thing. So when I set this proportion up, I know that 35% is out of 100. 80 is my whole thing. I'm looking for the part, the number that x is, or my variable is. Step 1, I'm going to cross multiply. 100 times x equals 35 times 80. Step 2, put down 100 times x and then multiply 35 times 80. 35 times 80 equals 2,800. Step 3, divide both sides by the number in front of x. 100 divided by 100 cancels out. 2,800 divided by 100 will get me 4, which is my answer. X equals, if I take away two zeros from the bottom and from the top, I get 28 divided by 1. 28 divided by 1 is 28. So, my number, what number is 35% of 80? That number is 28. 28 is 35% of 80. So my answer is 28. Make sure you box in your answer.